Hey again, people. Morning again. I'm gonna say a prayer for women and say a prayer for our children, because we need to, something has to be done to stop what is happening, or to reduce significantly what is happening to our women and what is happening to our children. And it has to start with the mindset first. Our family lives needs to be rebuilt. The family life is broken down, you know. Big up to all the single parents. I'm sure that for a lot of you, you would have done a marvelous job. But you know what happened? It's still a broken family, because God's best is really husband and wife and children. A healthy husband, a healthy wife, healthy children. You know, people filled with love, respect, trust, commitment, faithful, everything that you can think of, so that because once you have because they're a part of the society. Once you have a healthy family life, then you will have a healthy society, people. It's not just a talk. The majority of our problems, majority of it, is because there has been a breakdown of the family life. That's what the enemy wants. A breakdown of, you know, husband against wives, wives against husband, mothers against daughters and sons, sons against sons and daughters against mothers, fathers against daughters and sons, sons and daughters against fathers. And the list goes on. Because many of you, when you think back on your childhood, some of you have very bad memories, because either a mother wasn't there or a father wasn't there, or the home was broken. There was a lot of abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, all sorts of mayhem took place, you know. And because of that, there has been this breakdown in our family life, which is causing the breakdown in the society, which is then causing all of this killing, because there's no self-control. If somebody hurts you or does something wrong to you, there's no self-control to say, you know what, let me leave that person to time, leave that person to God, instead of enacting some kind of violent or revengeful act. We need a change. We need a change. And I'm going to pray for our women. I'm going to pray for our children, you know, that God protects them and protects us and keep us under his wings, and that family life will be restored. All right. It breaks my heart with what is happening, people. So I'm going to put this before God, so that, you know, this change is created. Father, we thank you for our people today, our Lord. And as we come before you, Lord, we just ask that, oh God, we give you all the glory, we give you all the honor, we give you all the praise, because you deserve every glory, you deserve every honor, you deserve every praise. Mighty God, in spite of what it is that we're facing in our country for the recent months, Lord, or before, we know that you're a God of justice, we know that you're a God of wrath, we know that you're a God of love, and we know that you're a God of change in the positive, mighty God. Lord, we ask that you will forgive us of every sin that we have committed, knowingly or not, deliberately or not, God, and just clean us and cleanse us from every unrighteousness, mighty God. Lord, I put before you our women, and I put before you our children. Lord, our children are like precious stones before you, mighty God. You said that if somebody hurts them, it is better for them to put a millstone around their neck and jump off in the depths of the sea. That is how valuable children are to you, mighty God. You said that unless we are like children, we will not enter the kingdom of heaven, because they're innocent, they're truthful, you know. They just speak what it is that they know on their hearts. They're not trying to be malicious. They're not trying to be dangerous or wicked, mighty God. But many of them are corrupted by the adults because of how they were corrupted as youngsters, mighty Lord. Lord, I ask that you will intervene into our lives, into the women's lives. Lord, when I think of women, I think of queenship. I think of princess or princesses, mighty God. That is who we should be, royalty. You know what Proverbs 31, the entire chapter, speaks on, Father. That is what we should emulate. The older women should be mentoring the younger women, mighty God. And I'm asking you to cause and allow these older women, wise women who have been through a lot, to mentor us as younger women. And in turn, as we get older, if life spare, we mentor younger women. We need for the society to understand that women are not just sex symbols or persons to be degraded and put down or discarded and then ultimately killed. We are valuable. We are queens. We are princesses. We are royalty. We are God's best. We are God's workmanship. We are not just a piece of rag or filth or nothing. We are just gunned down or knifed down or hit down or whatever it may be, whatever form of crime and violence, Lord. We need to understand that women are precious. We are considered caregivers for children, Lord. And look at what is happening in our country today. Women are not valued. Women are valued by men. I'm not talking about all men, but by quite a few. And women are not valued by many, many women. We mind the other woman, Lord. We treat them with disdain. We carry false news on them. We lie on them. We rob them. And then we wonder why it is that we face the ills that we face today. Family life is broken. There are so many single parent homes. That is not your best. That is not what it is that you would have ordained for us. You want a healthy husband, a healthy wife, and healthy child or children, as the case may be. That is your design. That is a healthy family life. Who should be taught values and principles, not only in the homes, but when they go to school, when they encounter others. But instead is the entire opposite is happening today. When I think of that elderly lady burning or smoking a spliff, a lady scolding her children with bad words, and we wonder why it is that we're facing the ills that we face. Children are grown up in aggression and anger and malice, and the enemy just takes them over after a short while. When we think of the gunmen, somebody said to me that if a young person comes to gun you down, or an older one, you have a chance with the older one because you can't even reason with the younger one because they're not at that stage and age. And that is so true. Because when I was much younger, I used to give a whole heap of trouble, Lord. I used to do a whole host of things because I didn't understand. I didn't think anything was wrong. Mighty God, we need your divine intervention. This is not just a cliche talk. We need your divine intervention, and we need to be proactive as people. You're not a God who forces us. You give us volition. We have to make that choice. Lord, we have to be a proactive set of people where we create this change, where we stop this violence and crimes against women and children, even our men. When we think of other people say there's a shortage of men, that's not true. Maybe the quality of men that they want, there is a shortage, possibly. Who knows? Because many of them are in the prisons, and many of them are very abusive. Many of them, because of what it is that they know, they were abused themselves in different forms. Told many things, violated sexually, violated mentally, violated emotionally. Hardly go to school, didn't get a good education, so they don't know how to reason. We deal with things out of control, not self-controlled. So somebody bad drives you, somebody says something wrong to you, and we act out with a gun, with a knife, with our tongue, which is a deadly weapon, mighty God. Sometimes people tell us some things that, oh my God, it's only the grace of God keep us from not crumbling. The words literally killing us. A lady told me that she just parked close to somebody, kind of blocked him. The door, maybe it was very difficult for him to get in, and he told her no ends of bad words and terrible things. And the sad part is a lady was sitting beside him, and all she could do, Lord, was to look at the lady and say, you really sat there allowing him to speak to me like that? She probably can't do anything, or she probably wouldn't see the day of light for the next day. Lord, our country is in turmoil. When we think of, some of the pastors have been accused, or the accused pastor, Mr. Clark. Lord, he may have been broken. He came from a brokenness, mighty God, for him to be behaving like that, because he could not have been grown up right and good and taught principles and live by the principles and do such a thing. So no matter if it is that they're in the church or out of the church, they're broken people all over and they need your help, Lord. But what is happening is that people are not allowing themselves to be used by you. so that we can be better individuals. We're not perfect, God. There are times we may say or do things that, we need to brush up ourselves and come again. There are times I may say something that I shouldn't have. It may have come off harsh, or do something or think a thought that I should not have. And I say, Lord, forgive me and help me to do better next time. We're not perfect, but Lord, this level of brokenness needs some serious divine intervention from you, mighty God. And we need your help now more than ever. Because this simply cannot just go on. This simply cannot just go on. We cannot just sit by watching this happening time after time and do nothing, because our child is not being violated, our child is not being molested, our wife is not being violated or molested or killed ultimately. Before the powers that be act, we only just show a sad face, and sympathy, and maybe cry 2 tears, and that's it. That's not enough. We have to be active, proactive. We have to do things. If it means, Lord, that we have to go to the powers that be and protest day in, day out until the change begins, then it means we do that, Lord. But I'm asking you to give us that wisdom, that knowledge, that understanding, that divine intervention where we know what to do, God, and act. And the powers that be act, not because their child is not yet violated or killed, or their women are not yet violated and killed, doesn't mean that they can't have a heart towards somebody else's child, towards somebody else's woman. Have a heart of compassion for their lives. Lord, we need your divine intervention in how to be self-controlled. There are many persons who have offended and hurt me, and I've had to be controlled. I can't just get up because they have done me wrong, just get up and shoot them or knife them down or do this or say this and do that. No. I have to understand what it means to forgive and to love, even those who may be very hard to. I am not perfect either. I've offended and I've hurt, God. And it is only by your grace that I've continued on this journey, God, because of your mercy. And we need your grace and your mercy in our land today, God. These are not just words, these are sincere, because God, we need you, God. I don't know what else to say, Lord. More than we need your divine intervention. We need it. Because this cannot go on. And we need to pull together as women. Stop fighting against each other. Stop tearing down each other. Stop it. We need to stop it now. I don't know, gosh, what it is that is causing us to be against each other so much. As women, or allowing our men to talk.